what do you know? The Big Daddy G Show. The Big Daddy G Show. Hey, kids. Excuse me. Welcome to the Big Daddy G Show. I'm your host, the Big Daddy G. And today, well, I want to point this out to you. In case anybody wants to go to the Shark Tank and see if you can get more money for this, it's called the Mike Flask. So you got somebody hosting a show, or could it even be a radio show? And, you know, they might like to drink about as much as I do. And so what you do is you put the flask onto the microphone. So let's say, you know, you're talking to a guest and the guest starts talking, and, you know, sometimes guests won't, you know, shut up. So as they're talking, you go, okay, well, I'll let them talk. And you just take a little drink, just like that. Anyway, it's an idea. Think about it. We can share the cost for that. Okay, so on today's show, all right, we're going to get back to the show. I'm being yelled at. On today's show, we're going to show you a film, and the film was not shot by us, but I saw this film and on YouTube, and I thought that it was really, really interesting, and I thought that it'd be awesome to share it with you guys. Now, the film, I won't give you the spoiler or spoil it for you or anything, but the film is about a little guy who's 17 years old, and he tries to do a favor for a friend, and you know, by giving him a ride, and so things kind of get bad, and so this, you know, the film will tell you about that. So anyway, you got to wait till the very end, though. Okay, you got to wait till the very end, because at the very end is the message that that got to me, and I think it's a message that should be shared with everyone. And so please watch the film to the very end. It's a 14-minute film, so if you have to go to the bathroom, you might want to do it now. I can sing a little lullaby or something, you know. From what I understand, next week we're going to channel John Lennon. So please join our show next week. You don't want to miss out on John Lennon. Or it could be, you know, the Count from Sesame Street. I don't know. It's not my job to know. It's Tyrone's job to know. So, anyway, I'm not sure if we can do the film now, but if we can do the film now, roll it, Mr. Smith.
All right, we're ready. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
All right, my name is Ross Capicchione. I'm from Macomb, Michigan, suburb outside of Detroit.
Start with your story of you know,
how it happened?
Yeah.
Well, it happened like I was a junior in high school, you know, 17-year-old punk shit. Just doing my thing, skating, hanging out.
What I mean is basically there's no...
This kid supposedly was supposed to be my friend, and I knew this kid for 10 years prior before this day. He asked me, hey, can you give me a ride to my cousin's house, you know, down in the D? All right, yeah, well, like, what part? Like, the west side or the east side? And he's like, the east side. And I was like, nah, man, I don't got no business on the east side, you know? He's like, no, it's cool, man. Like, the east side, that's like 7 Mile, like, it's like a third world country. The police, they won't stop and get out the car. They won't pull you over. If there's gunshots, they'll wait till everything's clear and they'll come pick your body up off the street and that's it. He's like, please, man, please. I'm like, no. So like a week goes by, you know, I'm still telling him no, like, because I had a feeling, like, don't go down there. Kept asking me, I'll give you $30 for gas, all this shit. I'm like, all right, whatever, you know, you're my friend. I'll take you down there. I go to school that day, and I get out, and everything seems normal. We go to the gas station, he gives me the money for gas. We drive down there. So I get off, and it's just like, I get that eerie feeling like you're in a bad spot. But it's like broad daylight out, beautiful day like that today. And we're driving, and he's telling me where to go, and we pull out on the street, and there's people outside, and he's like, all right, that's the house right there. So he's like, pull around back in the back. Like when I turned the corner to go right, like I seen it was like caution, like do not enter and all this shit, but I still, because I knew him for so long, I just thought, it's the D, it's, whatever. There was a fence, like a grass area, my vehicle, and then houses right there. So it was like, I wasn't in the middle of nowhere or anything. And like I get out, and he gets out, and like, it's only a couple seconds, I'm looking around. My ears are ringing, I'm like, man, that was close. And I kind of just glanced down, and my arm's just hanging off like a zombie. And I'm just looking at it, I'm like, yeah, this is, it's not real. And I kind of shake it off and look again, and it's just hanging off my arm. And I'm like, okay, then it kicks in, like blood, like flowing, like an animal. And then I look up, and this kid's just holding a shotgun, like 10 feet away from me, just holding it right at me. And I asked him, I said, like, did you shoot me? And he just blew a hole in my chest like this big. So after that, I just dropped to my knees. I lost all my air. I couldn't see. I remember like being on my on my hands and knees, and I felt the barrel of the gun on my head. I felt this barrel just shaking still on my head, and so I smacked it away. But it was a shotgun, so it sprayed. So it still like hit me in the head really good, but it didn't blow my head off like a watermelon just to pieces. So after that, I got a little sight, and I was like, okay, I'm still moving. Like, I don't know what's going on with my head, but I know I'm alive. And I remember I looked up, and he was just staring at me. And he took the butt of the gun and, like, smashed me in the face with it. Knocks my teeth out. Like, I fall back, but I could still see at this point. And I don't understand, like, how I can see, because I have so much damage to, like, my lung and heart. I felt like these hands, like, in my pocket, digging for my car keys. Like, when he's trying to grab my keys, like, I ended up on my stomach. And I look up, and I see my Jeep Commander driving away, just driving away, flying away. And I said, okay, well, either I stay laid down in this spot right here and die, or I try to get up. So I try to push myself up, but like take my left arm, take it right out. So gunshot to the chest, bigger than a soup bowl, and then my head all mashed up. And I'm trying to push myself off the ground. Kept trying, and I'm like, all right, you know what, one more. I'm gonna try it one more time. And I pushed up, and then out of nowhere, I felt these arms from underneath me pick me up. And I remember like swinging, trying to grab someone, and there was no one around. And I was just like standing up still, like a drunk, zombie, just like. And I got this like a shove, like someone shoved me from behind to go forward. I must have got about 7, 8 feet. I just fell straight down. Because I remember I hit the ground like on my stomach. I'm like, all right, well, I went as far as I could. This shit's hurting like too much. Like, let me just close my eyes and start relaxing. Sure enough, I closed my eyes and all the pain started going away. And then I'd wake up real fast and be like, this is not right. I just got shot 30 seconds ago. How's the pain stopping? And I'd be like, don't worry about it. Go back to sleep. That's a good feeling when you're sleeping. So I'd pass back out a little bit, and then I'd be like dying. And then I'd wake myself up, like my own voice, third person. Hey man, get up, man, you're dying. And then like, I did that, and then I heard, hey, hey. And I like started hearing this guy, and he's like running over to me. So when I fell, there was like a probation officer at a stoplight, and he seen me fall out of the woods, like all bloody broad daylight. And then I felt his hand on my back, like, hey man, you're fine, don't close your eyes. Come on, the ambulance is coming, they're coming. And I'm like, man, like I just want to sleep, leave me alone, man. But then in my head, I'm like, no, you don't, because if you fall asleep, you're sleeping forever. And I remember like getting on the stretcher, and they're putting me in the stretcher, and just like the facial expression of the paramedic was just a stunned look on his face, but in the same time telling me I looked great. I looked beautiful, like you're gonna be fine. And then it just like blacked out, and I went to like I was outside of the ambulance on my skateboard, filming it, like rolling telephoto filming of the ambulance, and the doors open, everyone's panicking, and I see my legs coming out, and like once it gets to my head, blacked out. I was pronounced dead on arrival right there. John Doe had nothing on me. They said, Doc, this kid's, gone, and Doc said, no. I'm here, let me try. Like when I was pronounced dead on arrival, like throw him in the body bag, he's dead. Like the doctor said no, like, you know, I'm gonna try to help him. This man doesn't know who I am. He could have said, yeah, he's dead, all right, I'm going back home. He said, no, like I feel something, I'm gonna try. Did the heart surgery, gave me 24 hours to, you know, see if I was still breathing on the ventilator. After 24 hours, I was still alive. They fixed my arm and my head, and I woke up 3 days later. I remember like waking up and it was still all white, like white everywhere, and I'm like, dead, dead. I'm 17, I'm dead. And then it starts to like come in, and it's like I see curtains, like a freaking oxygen tank, and I'm like starting. Then out of nowhere, bam, perfect vision again. I'm in a hospital, and then I'm like tied down to the bed because I got the breathing tube in me. I got this thing pumping air into my lungs, so I start freaking out. There was a nurse there the whole time though. I didn't even notice her because I was all tied down, and I just hear screaming like, "He's awake! He's awake!" And I see her like running out of the room, and then like running back, like 3 more nurses and the doctor, just this woman just coming around the corner flying, like throws her clipboard in the air, runs up to me, "Oh my God, you look beautiful!" Like, and in my head I'm like, what do you mean? I look beautiful. I can't even, what's going on? Like, am I tied down? And then she's like, all right, 1, 2, and like on 2, she pulled that thing out of my throat, man. I got to breathe again, like real air, like, you know, of course I coughed up a ball of tar and BBs, but everyone was just looking at me like, you're alive. Like, you're breathing on your own right now. Like, what's your name? I don't know. What year is it? What? Who's the president? Huh? Is there any way we could contact anyone you know with a phone number? I was like, 2-7. Out of anything, my name, anything, the year, only thing I remembered after that was my father's phone number. For 3 days, my family didn't know. My father was outside, like, spraying out the garage, and he got the phone call from the hospital saying, I think we got your son, he's been shot, but he's alive. So, I don't know how my parents had it. I don't know how that feels, like you're a father. Like, so, I don't know, it chokes me up because, like, it's crazy, but they came down there, and I remember, like, I seen my mom come in and my dad, and I'm looking at him, I was like, Mom, you can't get mad at me right now. She's like, mad? You're alive, you're alive. After, like, the 4th day, they were like, all right, get up, you know, start walking, like, let's go. I'm like, let's go where? He's like, you're going home tomorrow. I'm like, it's been 5 days. He's like, dude, you're going home. What, do you want to live in a hospital? You want to go live your life again? I'm like, sir, I got a hole in my chest the size of a teacup. He's like, listen, Ross, I gave you a tip of advice. You live through this, you're going to be okay. Just go home, live your life. Don't hang out with these kids anymore. After 5 days, they sent me home. So, like, I'm shot, you know? My parents are asking me questions. My dad's asking me, what are we gonna do about it? And I'm like telling him, like, Dad, I know who did it, you know? The next day, like, out of a movie, like, these men in suits came in. And my dad's like, yeah, can I help you? And they pull out their, you know, badges and FBI, you know. They say the kid's name. And I'm like, yeah, I know him, that's who shot me. He's like, oh, could you identify him through a picture? I was like, of course. Pull out a picture of the kid. I said, that's him right there. He said, Ross, we have him in custody. I said, how? I just woke up like 2 days ago. I just learned how my name again, like how to talk. He's like, the day blank shot you, he called blank and told him. So this kid shoots me and calls his buddy and says, hey, I shot Ross, he's dead. The kid's like, no, you didn't, you're lying. Because imagine another 15-year-old kid saying to a 15-year-old kid, you know? So after they hang up, the kid he told calls the police on him. And he was met by the SWAT team right at his front yard. Got him. And like, all I had to do was go to court and testify against him. I went in there, man, in a wheelchair, head still stapled, no teeth, 105 pounds because of all the blood I lost, arm cast, and I sat in front of 40 of his family and him, and he couldn't look me in the eye. He had his head down the whole time, and I had to tell my story like this to everyone. That was the first one. I had to go back to final sentencing, and that's when I was healed. Like, so I walked back in the courtroom the second time. He comes out in a purple suit, top hat, cane, and sunglasses. This is the kid who shot me at court, smiling, while his family cheers him on, says, like, way to shoot Ross, called me a coward because I was taking the justice route. Like, I didn't lower myself to his standards and go try to kill him. I spoke, and the judge, like, looked at this kid and said, said his name, and he said, "Yo, Ross, thank you." And the kid just looked at the judge like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Because if you would have killed Ross that day, you would have got life in prison. But since Ross is a warrior and survived, you get a second chance," and he just slammed the gavel on him. He said, "Go have fun in prison for 35 years. Well, I found out that the cause of the shooting was because he had to join a gang. That was his initiation, was kill a random person. He had to pick someone, so he just thought I would be the guy to pick." Yeah, that happened in 2007. Been about 4 years. And I'm telling you, the first two were the hardest. Like, it's hard, like waking up and knowing like someone tried to like shoot you down. You got to get through that every day. Like seeing people. Like I get on a bus, public bus, I'm freaking out the whole time. Like I don't trust anyone on the bus. For a while, my mother had to like take care of me as like how you do an infant, like washing, changing, feeding. Like I'm 17 years old and I got my mom bathing me. I can't move, I got no hand, I can't talk. I'm all weak. And my dad and mom were like, "Ross, like come on, like the doctors say, like give it time." And then all my friends like coming to see me, hanging out with me. I started getting more positive. One day I woke up and I felt different. Like I was like, you know what, this is my world. That's when like every time in physical therapy, like I would try to do something, mess up, I'd be like, well, it's like a nollie backside flip. Like you're gonna mess up until you try it and land it. When I'd mess up, I'd be like, nollie backside flip, and then I'd get it. Like I'd do something with my hand and like put the thing in, and the doctor would be like, "Oh yeah, good job, like you did it." And I'd be like, So I like started living my life as like skateboarding. It's been working. I'm very blessed. I see it now. Like when before, I'm like, like I'm so unlucky. Like I went through all this getting shot, and really, like I look at it now after like maturing and growing up. Like it just gave me like a whole new leg up on life and how I can live my life. And it's crazy. Like it's like makes me happy to be alive, and it's like so grateful for everything. Like I just look at what I got. I don't look at what I don't have. Look at what I have.
All right. So that was the little film that I wanted to share with you guys. Hold on a second. Gotta chase it. Oh. Crown Royal being chased by vodka. Anyway, I wanted to share that film with you guys because when I saw it, it made me realize that that we all take so much stuff for granted. Stuff that we have. If you look around your house right now, just look around. Guess what? You have a roof over your head. And you have a TV to watch. Even though it might be watching you too. Ha! I told a lot of people about smart TVs. I'm going to get off the subject here for a second, but I told a lot of people about smart TVs that they had microphones in them, and a lot of people told me I was crazy, la 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 la. Well, it turns out Samsung says that yes, they do have microphones in them. And when they asked Samsung, who are you giving the information to, they wouldn't say. So they asked them again, they wouldn't say. So I guess they threatened to sue them or something. Then all of a sudden Samsung came up with some name that in other languages spells CIA. But anyway, so watch out. You got a smart TV? Maybe not so smart for you. So anyway, keep that in mind. But let's go back to the film here for a second. The film was about the little guy who was doing a friend a favor. Ha! I got to do better drugs. Anyway, the kid was doing a friend a favor, going to the wrong side of Detroit, That's CJ's old stomping ground. Um, anyway, so the little guy, gives his friend a ride, and he ends up getting shot, and so that's pretty tough. So the little guy at the very end says, that he's thankful for what he has and not for what he wants. So, dude, if you're sitting around your house right now and you're watching TV, you're probably sitting on a nice, comfy couch, quit your bitching, you know? I mean, you can't take none of this shit with you, you know? You can't. You can't take any of this with you. I think we put up the phone number here at the studio if you want to call and talk about the film or talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. We're going to be taking calls. Hopefully, we're going to pray. Oh, my goodness gracious. We're going to pray that the phone lines are going to work. Here's a little giveaway that we're going to do today. I'm going to spring this on the director, Tyrone. I have this organic cigarette. I don't know if we can do a close-up. Ooh, baby. Well, you could light all of them, and then, how's that? All right, there we go. Ah! I'm just kidding. There it is right there. It's an organic cigarette, so to the first caller that calls gets this organic cigarette that was made by Tyrone Demetrius Smith. So anyway, so there you have it. First caller gets this organic cigarette. All right, so let's get back to the film a little bit. First of all, the little guy knew that I guess the east side of Detroit is not a good side of Detroit. Is that true, CJ? The east side is not so good? The central downtown area, in its entirety, CJ says the central downtown area is not such a good place in Detroit, to hang out. From what I understand, this little guy went to the east side. Is the east side of Detroit like a rougher side, CJ? Okay, all right. So CJ's agreeing that the east side is probably not the side of town that you want to be chilling at. So anyway, can you imagine that? The one thing I don't understand is that these kids, they have to kill somebody to join a gang. They have to kill somebody to join this family. That makes no sense. So, yeah. So, all I'm saying is that that just doesn't make any sense. And these gangs, they're fighting over property. They're fighting over land that doesn't even belong to them. Does that make sense? You're fighting over shit that doesn't even belong to you. You don't own that. But this is our territory. No, it's not yours. If they want to come in, if they want to come in and build condos, you're out. You're out of there, because they got, anyway, all I'm saying. Yeah, there's just, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So, but anyway, we're willing to take a few calls if we're able to get the board working. We've got a few minutes left of the show, but I just wanted to share with you guys that today I was watching TV this morning, and they're talking about if you're get this insurance, because if you get this insurance, then you can cover your funeral expenses and da 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 da. Dude, you're dead. Who cares? I remember I told my dad one time. Oh, by the way, that's why we have these 2 palm trees here, because anytime I'm thinking about my dad, I always draw 2 palm trees with water coming in, and it just reminds me of my dad because he loved swimming on the beach. He loved being on the beach. So it just kind of reminded me of that. So I told Tyrone, I said, dude, that's the picture I want to use for the show tonight. So anyway, here we are. But anyway, I don't know. Why is it all about money? Why? Why is it all about money? Why can't it be about, enjoying life? Why can't it be about having a good time? Oh no, I got to have a bigger house. Oh no, I got to have 7 cars. Oh no, I got to have, Dude, I have a friend. I won't tell you his last name, but I'll tell you his first name. It's Ted. And Ted works real hard. He works for one of those companies that drills into the ground and does fracking and all that stuff. And so that's why I won't tell you his last name, because I don't want you to go find him, because he's a good friend. But anyway, so Ted has a house here in Austin, and then has a house in the city that he works in. He doesn't even work in Austin. He works in this other city. But they pay him so much money that he can have a house here and have a house there, or a condo there. And so he's working all the freaking time. He's working. Why? So he can go home and take a shower and go to bed, and then wake up the next day and go to work and work. Dude, there has to be more to life than that. There has to be more to life than that. And you people that are sitting there at home going, I hate my job, I hate going to work, I hate dude, cut it out. Cut it out. Set yourself up in a way that you can make your dream come true. And cut it out, dude, because you're not going to take any. Look around you. You think all that shit's going to fit in your casket? I mean, your Jaguar or your BMW or your this or your that or whatever. Dude, it's not going to fit in your casket, You're just borrowing it while you're here. So, I don't know. All I'm saying is take a step back, and look in the mirror and make a decision, in 5 years, dude, you're going to close your eyes. You're going to wake up, but 5 years have been gone, and dude, it goes like that. 5 years, just like that. So anyway, I just want you guys to enjoy life as much as I enjoy life. I do what I want. I do when I want it. When I want to do it, I do it. If I don't want to do something, I don't do it. If I feel like going out and partying, I go, which is pretty much all the time. But anyway, my point is, and the point of this show, or this particular film that we just showed you, was that, dude, any second we could get hit by an asteroid. Look, that could be an asteroid coming in, and bam, it's over. So, just wake up and enjoy life, And I want to thank y'all for, joining us tonight. Viva Mexico! I hope, what do you know? The Big Daddy G Show. The Big Daddy G Show.
Can we all just get up on the Big Daddy G Show? Yeah, man.
Why clean your room when you can do some shrooms? The Big Daddy G Show.
I hope, what do you know? The Big Daddy G Show. The Big Daddy G Show.